This person really enjoys having conversations with you. It's like time stops when the two of you are in the midst of talking or even like chatting virtually with one another. There's a sense that they want to stay on the phone a little bit longer. They want to be in your presence a little bit longer. They are hanging on to every word. This is somebody who really loves the way your mind works. They're fascinated by your perspectives on things, the way in which you phrase things, and that you give care and attention to how you like respond to this person, even how you hold space and actively listen to them. It feels like is one of the best qualities about you, something that this person might not often experience in other sorts of connections, maybe even like platonic connections. This person could definitely be on like the neurodivergent spectrum. They got their special interests, they got their thing that they're like really into, and people's eyes glaze over when they start talking about that. This could be somebody that is like an over talker, like a nervous talker even, and that is something that has worked to their disadvantage in other connections or things where they've had to really kind of like regulate that in some sort of way, or try and kind of like hold back a level of enthusiasm or passion when it comes to speaking about particular things, again, that are like special interest or niche topics that they know a lot about, or even just in general, communication may have been something that this person has like really struggled with, self-expression, and yet with you, it comes forth very naturally. It feels very natural to just open up. You might be interested in some of the same things that they are, some of those special interests, those niche interests, and if that's the case, this is somebody who feels like they hit the jackpot with this tend to the roots of reciprocity, because you can really have like these good deep exchanges with one another, or even if it's something where you're holding space for this person to like tell you all about these different things that they know or that they're interested in, teach you about their special interests. This is something where they feel like you are actively engaged in that process, and so these are like really quality exchanges that you're having. If it is kind of the reverse, or maybe you're both sort of in that energy, this is somebody who wants to know more about the things that fascinate you, more about your interests, more about your hobbies, more about certain skills that you have honed that don't necessarily have to do with like professional things, but this might almost be some kind of, again, like a craft or a hobby, something that has to do with even things that you know a lot about. You got a lot of information about certain things, you get really excited when you talk about these things, and this person really likes to watch you express yourself. They love the way that your eyes light up, your face lights up, your whole energy lights up when you're in the midst of talking about things that you love, or even the ways in which you're kind of like sitting and immersed as they are opening up. They are expressing things where this is almost kind of somebody that feels at this point in time a level of friendship is deepening between the two of you, or like mutual respect, mutual admiration. Like this person feels really respected by you, sort of an authority on certain things. They may be an authority on certain things, or they know a lot about certain things, and there's something where you are very fascinated by that, or it's a point where you're connecting with one another that's very meaningful for them, that it feels like just adds to or enhances the possibility of what it could be like to progress further into romance with you, to also have that component of not just we are attracted to one another, or there's this great like sexual chemistry, the vibe is right, the mood is right, we find each other very appealing, but there's also this aspect of like on a person to person level, that there is this kind of bond, there is this exchange between the two of you that isn't just kind of like wasting time, or listening someone, waiting for the opportunity to interrupt, waiting for the opportunity to speak, but this is somebody that feels very enriched by these exchanges. We also have cuddle and cradle. So beyond all of that kind of like cerebral, intellectual energy, this is definitely somebody like they find you to be very attractive. They find you to be very sexy. Your lips appear very kissable. Maybe they have kissed you and that was like a very memorable moment for them, or they're looking forward to a good makeout session with you. Something where it's like they want to kind of continue to get to know you, continue to deepen this experience between the two of you, so you can get to that point where things transcend into a little more of that spicy energy. This is definitely somebody that, wants to be close to you. They want to hold you. They want to hold hold your hand, they want to hug you. This is somebody that like physical touch could be part of their love language. So this is somebody that gives like great massages. This is somebody that's into those public displays of affection. This is the type of person that they are looking forward to like long hugs with you, looking very deeply into your eyes. That is all something which really appeals to them. And any ways in which that is taking place currently, that is deeply satisfying for them. Like it feels right, almost like your bodies fit very well with one another, or they imagine that they would. We also have seek the ally. Yeah, so there is that energy of friendship being something very important between the two of you. Maybe you started off as friends and something more is developing. If this person hasn't spoken about their attraction to you yet, so they're just kind of like crushing, like a friend that has caught feelings for you, this is something where it's like they are very hopeful that the basis of friendship that you already have or that you're strengthening at this point in time is going to sustain the two of you in order to kind of build beyond your comfort zone as far as romance is concerned. So maybe that's sort of a new experience for this person, having a friendship first and then going towards romantic experiences. Or in the past maybe they tried dating friends and it didn't really work, and then the friendship collapsed, and then they also missed out on the opportunity for romance. Something where this person is very confident about the way in which the two of you have these exchanges platonically, that there is a strong enough kind of like mutual respect, or there's been enough time that has been taken to kind of get to know one another as people, like beyond the element of romance, that they feel will definitely enhance the ability to, kind of gradually ease beyond your comfort zone. Like they're very enthusiastic, it feels like, of taking things to the next level, hugging you, coming in close, cuddling, creating more like intimacy, more romance, or even starting to flirt if this is something that hasn't really happened so far, or they've been kind of timid with that. They definitely want to start doing more of that. But there's a sense of sort of like, as we stretch beyond the limits of kind of like what we are to one another at this point, how we've been having these interactions, I keep coming back around to the fact that I really like you as a person. I really respect you as a person. I like having you in my life even as a friend. And that is making them feel very self-assured at the idea of kind of like crossing certain boundaries, crossing certain thresholds, maybe expressing like, hey, I think we should, explore being more than friends. Or this might even just be somebody that kind of like out of the blue, they kiss you one day, and that begins the start of like, okay, so now we're exploring something more than we're just friends. This is somebody that feels very empowered by that. They feel very comfortable in your presence, like very comfortable with being themselves. And so this, it feels like, is a key component that is really encouraging them, to take a chance in this situation, to trust in, kind of more of the romance that could be developing, or that they want to develop if that is something they haven't spoken of out loud yet. We also have grow your wishes. So in the time that this person has known you, they are very impressed by these different layers of you that have come to the surface, things that have come to light, things that you have revealed, ways in which you might have come from very different backgrounds, you may have very different lifestyles, and yet it makes sense, like this friendship between the two of you. It's almost the idea of like two peas in a pod, but you could also be sort of like an odd couple. Nevertheless, it works. This is something where this person kind of like wants to create more experiences with you. They want to spend more time with you. They want to get to know you more. They want you to see a side of them that is more romantic, that is less kind of like, okay, we're just going to have small talk, or, we're going to talk about like these personal interests, or, things that they have going on in their life, any kind of like stresses with work, or drama that they've been dealing with, concerns that they have, like anything where you've really held space for one another to express that, or to be that kind of like listening ear for one another. That is something that has really reassured this person, again, that like the basis of friendship, mutual respect, that it is something that is strong enough that even if there's kind of like a wobbly energy as far as like, well, how do we do this? How do we just step into romance? Even if it's very easy, like, this person just has to kiss you. They just have to start flirting. They just have to kind of express the obvious, or continue to go in that direction. This is somebody that definitely, because of this energy of like respect that they have, like a mutual respect, they don't just want something where it's like, okay, we have a fling, it's something very quick, it's something very immediate, and then we sort of go off in our own direction, or the connection just falls apart because maybe we're better as friends. Like, this person feels very assured that if you were to explore kind of outside of the box, outside of the definition of what you are to one another at this point, if you found out that it's like, yeah, the chemistry just doesn't feel right, it doesn't kind of mix well between the two of us, it might have been better as an idea rather than a reality. This is somebody that is very confident you can easily go back to that energy of friendship, and like nothing is lost, almost something would be gained, that energy of knowing, that energy of wisdom. Could we be compatible as something more? And it feels like this is kind of fulfilling these different desires within them. This is somebody that wants something real. They don't just want something temporary. They don't want something shallow. They don't want something surface level. This is a person that like craves deep connection. They value deep connection with others. And so this is something that it is checking off all those boxes for them as far as your dynamics so far at this point, to continue to kind of like open up, or to take that sort of leap of faith, take that chance, take that step forward to explore something more. This is somebody that is very confident that it's almost inevitable. It's a natural next step. It doesn't fill them with the energy of fear, that idea of kind of increasing the closeness between the two of you, or kind of creating more of this like sensual, or almost kind of like romantic experience beyond whatever you have going on at this point in time with one another. Yeah, we also have get your brave on. So this person feels like is getting ready to make a move, getting ready to express something. If this is a friend that has caught feelings, this is somebody that's getting ready to confess that. If you've already had like a really good makeout session, you've already kind of like danced around that topic of, so I think we should try dating. It makes sense. We're not seeing anyone else. We have a really good time as friends. Why don't we try that out? This is something where they definitely want to take that very seriously. They may have approached that casually or sort of impulsively. It could have just slipped out, or something like just happened. Maybe you guys were just like, you're partying, you're having a good time. Next thing you know, you end up making out. This person doesn't just want it to be kind of like accidental steps moving forward. This is something where it's like very conscientiously, very deliberately, very mindfully. It's like, I want to revisit that. I want to explore that more. I want us to build from this point forward in that direction of kind of like, what can this friendship lead to in terms of something more, in terms of like maybe the type of partnership we have been seeking and not finding with other people. Maybe it was right in front of us the whole time. Kind of like the last place either of us thought to look was this friendship, to fulfill those kind of like deeper romantic desires that has not been able to been fulfilled with like other people they've tried to date, other people that you've tried to date. So this is somebody that you've like known for a while, you've been friends for a while, or it's just been kind of undefined between the two of you. This is somebody that wants to start, taking things more seriously, exploring things more seriously between the two of you. We also have shed the tears. Yeah, so this is somebody that feels like they don't want to be crying over spilt milk. They don't want to be in a Five of Cups energy, where if they just kind of linger in the friend zone, if they remain in that energy, and somebody else comes along and one day you're like, hey, I met someone, I started dating someone, I was done being single, I was trying to meet people, and I connected with a really good guy or a really good girl. This is somebody that doesn't want to kind of just like have to keep that sort of desire or those feelings or that potential of what if bottled up inside. So this is somebody that feels very confident in terms of like, what do I have to lose in terms of expressing myself? What do I have to lose in terms of taking a chance forward? Even if it's something where it might be, for some of you, this is almost like this is just a thick chemistry between the two of you. Nobody's really spoken on that yet. They don't know, like, would you be receptive to that? Do you just see them as a friend? And so it takes that kind of bold step forward in some way or another in order to find that out. And this person feels like almost the potential reward is worth the risk of taking that leap of faith forward. Because to keep that truth, to keep that interest, to keep that kind of like crush energy or desire for something more serious inside, it's like, I'm never going to know unless I take that chance. I never am going to know unless I say something. And so what you have with one another, the experiences you have with one another, it makes this person feel safe enough to kind of just like speak that truth, let that out, let that be known, whether you accept that and you're very enthusiastic about kind of what comes next, or if it's something where you're like, I just don't feel the same way, and you go back to being friends, or there's a little bit of distance that happens between the two of you, so that you can kind of like settle into that or process that. This is somebody that is like, I need to know one way or another. I need to put myself out there. And we also have garden of, or garden the heart. I was going to say garden of the heart. It feels like you have definitely taken root in this person's heart space. You occupy a very significant place within their heart, but this is somebody that definitely wants to tend to the seeds of potential between the two of you. They like who you are. They like you as a person. They find you to be very attractive, very sexy, very appealing. There's a lot of magnetism between the two of you. It's pure kind of like raw animal magnetism that it feels like becomes increasingly difficult for them to resist. Like, it doesn't make sense to this person to hold back. It's like, I just have to take a chance. What do I have to lose? Because this is too obviously like feeling right to me in so many ways, that that unexplored potential of what might develop between the two of us that could be the type of satisfaction in a relationship with another person that we have been wanting, that we have been seeking, that may be very attainable between the two of us, but we never know unless someone says something. So rather than kind of like sitting in that energy, maybe continuing to sit in that energy of like, okay, who's going to make a move? Who's going to say something? This is somebody that is like, I'll do it. I'll be the one to say something. I'll be the one to put myself out there. I will be the one to kind of like bare my heart and soul to you. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.